All right, here we are after a late night trail run. Well, got back late. Started about 5:30. Got back about midnight, 12:30, something like that. Pretty easy trail, about 90% of it. Got into a swamp and a couple rigs got stuck. Real easy stucks. I got stuck, kind of ran into a tree. Got kind of wedged in, had to winch out, and caught back up to the rest of the group. Everything was great. Well, in the process of cutting a tree down, I left my chainsaw there, and another bigger truck was stuck kind of in that same area where the chainsaw was at, and a couple big buggies were over there helping the bigger truck get out. So I decided, against my better judgment and against good trail rules, of once you're past a swamp or once you're past an obstacle or a gnarly area, what do you never do? Charge back into it or go back into it and kind of press your luck. And I got lazy. I didn't want to walk to get the chainsaw, and I kind of wanted to pull up where the other vehicles were at, shine some light, and kind of help out. And of course, what do you think happens? I get kind of wedged in a little area where there was a ledge in front of me, and out comes the winch rope, hook it up. Winch works great. I'm pulling. Of course, I'm sitting inside. I don't winch from outside. I sit in the driver's seat, have my winch remote in there so I can control the throttle, keep that winch, fed with electricity from that alternator and battery, and kind of, be able to put it in gear, help it out, steer, make it easier on that winch to pull itself out, pull the vehicle out. And I moved about a foot and everything was great. And I'm kind of looking out the window at the tire moving. I'm, starting to come up the ledge. Then all of a sudden, I'm not moving anymore, but I can hear the winch still winching in. So I look up and all I see is the tree that I'm attached to come crashing down. And, you can see where it hit. It hit the cage, smashed the windshield out. Scared the living crap out of me. I thought I was done for. Without the cage, the tree would have landed right on me, no doubt about it. It would have, went right through that top. Even with the hard top on this, the aluminum hard top, it still would have smashed and probably hit me. And that cage definitely saved me. I've rolled this vehicle over before, and you can see the dent from that on that part of the cage. So this is twice that cage has saved me, no doubt. And that didn't really ruin the trip. Everyone still had a good time. It was, I wasn't hurt. It was just a matter of kind of the shock factor. And about an hour later the big truck was out, and we continued on and finished the rest of the trail. And the drive home for me was freezing cold, glass blowing in my face. But you can see I got some cleaning up to do today. Get the glass vacuumed out, wash this thing. But on a positive note, I just finished a bunch of work on this. You can see I pushed that front end forward about 3 inches. So it gives it a much better stance. Visually, it gives it a little better look, and anytime you can get your front tire out forward of the vehicle a little more, it's usually beneficial. And for me, everything I did worked out great. I had to lengthen the arms on the front. All that worked out super well. Had to make the drive shaft. That held up super well. I'm running spacers now on all the wheels, so that kind of widened everything out. Everything felt great on the trail. I had a little bit better control, on the little downhill, rights and left turns, kind of little steep downhills where you have to make a right or a left turn over a bank. Defender 90s like to tip. This kind of widens it out, makes it a lot more stable. But yeah, and it worked. It worked great last night. Wasn't a super difficult trail. It's kind of frozen. Yeah, a little bit of mud, a little bit of water, but you know the ground is starting to firm up and freeze up. So yeah, other than the damage, I'm super happy with how the Defender looks and runs and performs now. So all the little changes I did, cleaned up the front end, pulled the transfer case, and looked at everything. Redid some gearing in the transfer case. Got a lower high gear in the transfer case for just driving around town. A little better takeoffs at lights and you know things like that. Didn't affect the gearing. Doesn't affect the low gear, just the high. But everything in the transfer case looked great. Everything's ready to go. Got it all back together. I've been driving it on the road the last couple weeks. Everything was great, and I've gotten some trail time in the last week or so with it, and everything's working fantastic like I'd hoped. Just got to fix that windshield now and get that piece of that cage. You know, it all unbolts, which is super cool because when I damage something like that, you know, I can just take that piece off, and I'll probably take the back piece off that's bent and get some replacements coming for those. But other than that, everything's working good still. Get it cleaned up, get it in the garage, get the broken stuff tore off, and get ready for the next adventure. Yeah, got to get me another sticker too. That's a bummer. I think I got a Warren sticker I can put on there now on the new windshield, and then I'll get another Team Rover 1, maybe a little bit smaller in orange, put under the Warren sticker. All right, got some work to do. See you on the trails.